Hi, folks. This is Rick Doc Walker, the DOC.
This is John Kime, and you're listening to the Mess Hall with Rally Captain and Tailgate Ted.
What's going on, Rally? World's been dying to know, man. How was it?
I enjoyed my first experience with pickleball. Let's just say that I'm not as good as an athlete that I used to be. That's all I'll say.
So for those that are wondering what we're talking about, and we kind of just jumped right into it, Rally teased last week that he was going to go out with a friend of his to go play some pickleball. And shame on you for not watching or listening to last week's episode. So go back and check that out. And I immediately went crazy, like, what? You're doing what this weekend? So I asked you not to tell me or text me any updates and tell me how it went because I wanted to be surprised. And for those wondering, it's Tuesday the 25th at 4:30 where we're recording this. So what was the experience overall, man? I saw you were out there. Where'd you end up going?
Went to Deal Pickers in Rockville,
Okay.
Maryland. A buddy of mine, he I guess has some friends and they look out for him. So in return, I was like, instead of me going someplace where I know no one, and no shade against you, but I said, let me just, you've been playing for a while, so I can see how you would give me a hard time. I felt so I'm just a novice. I've never held a paddle in my life, and so I just wanted to make sure that before I step out there with the big dogs, that at least I have a better understanding of the game, understand how things work, the score, because I got to tell you the 0-0-1/2, that just threw me off for a minute, but I got it eventually, yeah. And so I sent you a short video of me playing, and you said, "Oh, you guys are playing singles," and I was like, "No, that's just me warming up, just hitting the ball back and forth, just to get a feel for it." And I actually do like it. It just lets me know that, man, it's been a long time since I've actually been on the court and have played, a sport. And these hips, they said, nay. So, it was good to be back on the field, if you will, and the court, and see what I can and can't do, and look forward to building upon what I did, because I still was in the tennis mindset, if you will.
Gotcha. So did you play tennis? Have you played tennis before?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about ping pong?
Yeah. I played ping pong. I played tennis. I mean, I was actually quite good at both of them. But pickleball, it's yes, it has those flavors, but it's still different. And
Yeah.
because of that, it just took me a minute, and then, so you already know this, but when you're playing, people can join in. They can say, "Hey, are you guys, you want to play?" Like, pick up basketball, if you will. And so I was like, "Well, listen, before I say yes, I'm just letting you know that this is my first time ever picking up a pickleball paddle and playing. So take it easy on a brother." And they were like, "Uh-huh."
They not believe you, or they not want to take it easy on you?
They didn't take it easy on me. This lady had this wicked serve, brother, and I said, "I told you this is my first time ever playing this game," and she didn't care. She laid it. She said, I guess she was like, "Look, you laced them up. You gonna play, and so the only way you can get better is to play." And so then I got serious. I was like, "Oh, hell no!" The competitive nature in me said, "No, you're not going out like that." But needless to say, I went out like that.
No, it sounds like you had a good time, man. And you're already ahead of the curve from where I started because I never played tennis. And my boys had growing up across the street from me, they had a ping pong table, but we used it for beer pong. We never actually used it for ping pong. So, the only time we actually used the ping pong ball was to throw it into a red solo cup. So I definitely didn't have any kind of that practice. But it has been I sent you a video on kind of the basics and the
Yeah.
rules and stuff like that. So it's been a fun year in 2 months since I've been playing. And I'm not sure if you're there yet, but once you start to get out there a little bit more, you start to get hooked and you go down this kind of little like rabbit hole. And next thing you know, there's just so many aspects to it. So when I asked you what you were going to do if you needed a paddle, you said, oh, they probably got it out there. Did your boy give you one? Did you rent one from the place?
Yeah, he gave me. He had an extra one, and he says, "Look, I don't want you to get. I want you to have to pay for anything. Basically, I just want you to just experience. Now, I did have to pay for before I go any further. I did have to pay for my court time, obviously.
Yeah.
But, it was at a reduced price or whatever have you, which I greatly appreciated because you just don't know what you're getting yourself into. And I didn't want to try to rent anything. I did. So he had everything I needed. So got the paddle from him, and like I said, I actually like it. I'm actually looking at getting a custom paddle with SB events on the paddle and the website and things of that nature
Okay.
because
Okay.
just people were asking me, they said, "Hey, you look kind of familiar," and I did have on a Washington Commanders T-shirt, so I was repping the squad. Um, it's just amazing how people recognize you, and I mean, you have no clue that I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that we are public figures, if you will, but
Yeah.
on a smaller scale. You know what I mean? And so the fact that people kind of recognize you is just you're like, oh wow, okay. Well, I said, well, look, don't tell anybody, all right? This is our secret.
That's actually been what I've enjoyed the most about going because that that base doesn't really pay attention to the stuff that we do, right? They're not really diehard football fans or not Commanders fans, and it's kind of a reprieve from this life that you and I have, where I don't have to worry about someone asking me. Like today, for example, the Junkies were talking about Brian Robinson being traded for a fifth or sixth round pick. And I was in Bethesda in the morning and I went to Bethesda Bagels. I went to a coffee shop 2 doors down, and then I went to a bakery about a block away. All three of those places, someone recognized who I was because I was wearing Commander's hoodie on, and I do Fox 5 stuff from Bethesda all the time. And each of them had listened to the Junkie segment that morning and were all asking me, did you hear Brian Robinson was getting traded? Like, I kind of just wanted to get my latte and grab my bagel and get my cookie and just get stuck in traffic to head back home to DC because the Junkies were just filling in time. There ain't a lot going on right now. And it was just kind of a hypothetical thing going on about should we trade Brian? So being able to go out to the court and just talk about paddles and that technology. And did you watch that pro game the other day? Because believe it or not, like pro pickleball players, it's actually a legit sport. And some of them are in Vietnam right now. And I just saw on their Instagram, they're playing at the places I played at when I was out there. So
Nice.
it's kind of crazy that it's gone. It has been going that popular, and I'm happy to hear that you're enjoying it. And I can hook you up with a company that'll custom make a SB Events paddle for you because I ended up doing that for some different clients of mine as well. But when's the next time you're getting out there?
I'm thinking about this Saturday. Yeah, this Saturday, providing that the work schedule and everything bodes well with it. But I think that this Saturday will be the time that I get out there and go for part two, if you will.
All right, man. I'm looking forward to hearing the saga. Maybe get your GoPro and put that on so we can kind of.
You don't want to see that, bro. I am not good at all, but the fact is, it's a good way to build up a sweat. It's a good way to just break bread with your friends and other people that you may never cross paths with. Just talking to the people that were there, great people, and that's one thing that I always like about sports. You meet great people, like-minded people, and you never know. You may be able to learn something from somebody, or meet a new friend, and the next thing you know, you guys are traveling the world together, type of thing. So you just never know.
Yeah, it's a fun community that I never would have tapped into if it wasn't for finding the sport, right? And Mrs. Tailgate actually hates that I like it so much because she's the one that introduced me. And now she created a monster because I'm out there 5, 6 nights a week until 10 o'clock. They literally turn the lights off at 10:30, right? And it's
Wow.
You ever see like a TV show where you're in then like a big department store and you start to see the lights turn off on one end of the store? So that's how we can tell on one end of the parking lot, you can see the lights slowly turning off in like sequential order and it's starting to come to get to us. And the next thing you know, it's just pitch black right at 10:30. So that's when we know we got to wrap the games up. But for the most part, I want to say 99% of the people I've met have been awesome. Everyone's been very welcoming, unlike some sports where I find out that you're, for example, an Eagles fan and I want to punch you in the mouth, right? Something like that. But it's been a fun time. I'm happy to hear that your experience has been good. I'm not gonna give you any tips or any pointers, or maybe I'll send you like a YouTube video or something like that. But one of these days, man, we got to get out there and hit the courts up.
I'm all for it, bro. I'm all for it. One day after I get off of work, whatever have you, we can go wherever you go and start it off that way.
Yeah, I got a machine. There's some free courts out by me. And here's a promise I'll make you, right? I promise not to embarrass you like Jayden Daniels' mom did to Jayden this past week. How about that?
Hey, man, I'll take that. I'll take that. And here's the thing: did she really embarrass him? Or are we making this out to be something a nothing burger? Personally, I think it's a nothing burger. Because here's the thing, and I say it's a nothing burger because did the camera stay on them the whole game? Do we know that? Hey, maybe he didn't. He went to get some popcorn or something, and then when he came back, she was sitting in the middle of him, or whatever have you. I mean, maybe she wanted to talk to him, talk to her too. There's just we've heard the stories obviously of
Yeah.
the mom doesn't want gold diggers, or I shouldn't say gold diggers, or she doesn't want her son to get caught up with a woman who she doesn't approve of, so to speak. And
Well, she wants him to focus on football. She doesn't want him to focus on, other stuff at this point.
yeah. But they've run with these stories, and obviously I understand this is a slow period in the NFL time season, if you will. So the thing is, they have to have something to chime on, and
Yeah.
so this is very relevant because they saw him in public. But he's a young man, and just let him have his fun. And what were they doing? It wasn't like he was trying to make advances and feel up on her on the basketball game. He just talked to the young lady. Let him talk. And
Yeah.
like I said, you don't know the breakup in action. Maybe she said, "Hey, I want to talk to her for a second and sit over here for a second." We just don't know, and because people run with stuff, it's no different when, let's just say, I saw you out talking. Okay, how about this? Philadelphia Eagles game. Since you just brought that up, You're walking out with a group of people, and one of the people was a young lady. Am I to say, "Hey, Ted's doggone dipping out on this old lady because he's walking with this young lady"? No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't do that. Or if you saw me talking to a young lady, which I talk to everybody, you talk to everybody, but there are that subsect that will say, "Hey, I saw Cap talk to this girl over here." You don't know what she was talking to me about.
Yeah.
You don't know. So let it go. Is all I gotta say. What about you?
This is just proof that there's someone always watching, right? And granted, they are like super up there in regards to popularity. People are always watching, always staring. It just makes me crack up because, getting to hang out with, Jaden's mom during the playoff games and being out on the road and back at the team hotel, just different stuff and personality wise, you can kind of like everyone else can kind of see it firsthand on camera. Like Jayden was sitting next to JuJu Watkins, and all of a sudden, Jaden's mom comes back and then sits in between both of them. So this was at the NCAA Women's March Madness tournament game out there, and Jayden, was talking to the young lady. Like you said, who knows what they were talking about? Maybe they were talking about fantasy football or, her winning her FanDuel bet because he had so many rushing touchdowns, whatever. But it just cracks me up because there was that article that came out about how she was going to basically stop her son from dating anybody and just kind of get in the way to make sure he focuses on what's right. And I did a hit with ABC, Natalie Spalla from ABC on 200 Sports Talk. And we were talking about Jayden and what makes him different. And to me, it's the grind he puts in, right? And there are a bunch of people that have been coming out saying, well, is he going to have a sophomore slump like CJ Stroud had in Houston, right? Because defenses are going to adjust to him. But my rebuttal to that is, you guys don't know this kid's grind. And he is going to work even harder than he did before because he knows that the work he put in wasn't going to be enough. And he has people in his corner that are going to make sure he's focused. Granted, there's going to be jokes coming out of it because his mom wants to make sure he is focused. And there was a video that came out of Jayden hanging out with, I want to say it was Malik Neighbors and another player that he played with in college. And they were talking, I think they were at some private Louis Vuitton store or something. And this guy was outfitting him with a bunch of clothes. And I'm paraphrasing here, but Jayden basically paid for everything with his playoff check. And he was joning on his boys because best believe the Giants didn't get a playoff check last year. And the other guy that was there didn't get a playoff check. So he knows what he needs to do. And I think his entourage and the people around him, his agent, everyone else, they know what he needs to do to stay focused. But you also got to have some fun from time to time. And I do think that people should kind of mind their own business, right? Just because he's our quarterback doesn't mean we get to judge every little tiny thing he does. I mean, yeah, it was weird that Sam Howell only ate chicken, but just let people live, right?
Exactly, man. And here's the thing. He just bought this huge house. I think it's like 5,000 square foot house in Ashburn. He's got everything he needs in this particular house. So his mom isn't always going to be at that house. The young man is going to have some private time. And in that private time, he's going to keep his private life private.
Yeah.
So when you see him out at a basketball game, hockey game, whatever have you, which you see him out in public, his mom has been there, which how do we know that she doesn't want to attend these events as well? If my mom was my agent and quite frankly looked the way that Jayden's mom looked, now my mom is hot for being her age, but I wouldn't mind my mom being there with me. Stop making these excuses for people when you don't know the full story. And that's what's wrong with society right now.
Everybody covets what other people have, right? They just want what other people got. And, some of them are just jealous. And I'm seeing that, 5,600 square foot modern farmhouse in Ashburn. I don't see how much it cost him, right? But regardless, Jayden's going to get paid from his endorsements and everything else. And even though he's still on a rookie deal, right, he's going to enjoy himself. And when he finally gets paid, best believe they got insurance policies on him. Just, worst case scenario, anything happens. But I'm just happy to see him smiling. I'm happy to see him out. And it reminds me of when I was at a event in Ybor City, and it was a Commanders, not then, it was back a Redskins rally. And I was actually Cooley's escort for Larry Michael, walking him around everything. People would walk into the bathroom while Chris is sitting there pissing, asking for his autograph at a urinal, right? It's just, let people live. Let them enjoy themselves. There is a time and a place to ask people for that kind of stuff. And then when we were in Philly, and I hate bringing it up, and when we were at the Hard Rock and you missed it, there are literally people standing there with cameras, like 3 people back, taking video of Jayden's mom, Regina, eating, right? It's just like, and I had to ask people to put their cameras down. Like, and I guess that's kind of what is coming out of this. Like, yes, she embarrassed him, and it was ESPN that caught it on camera. So, but my ask to our fan base is, I know how pushy we all can be. When you do see these guys out, let them live. Because I remember there was a Wizards game Jayden walked into, and I'm not going to name the Commanders fan that tweeted it out, but they took a video of Jayden walking onto the floor and said, oh my gosh, does he have a limp? Right? Who knows? Maybe he had a pebble in his shoe. right? And that's just how stuff goes kind of crazy. And that video got seen a ton. And it was just all a bunch of BS. Just let people enjoy themselves. Yes, they're players, yes, they're millionaires, this and that, but they're also people too.
Yeah, bottom line, that's what it boils down to.
And hopefully, you know, we won't have to worry about and hear about it, but it is a stupid story because there is nothing going on. But something that is going on is there are some proposed NFL rule changes. So the owners' meeting is happening, I believe, this week. So depending on what time you listen to this, maybe some of these rule changes will be settled. But there are some proposed rule changes that some different teams are bringing forth to the competition committee. And one of them, which I wish, and I want to hear your opinion, I wish was brought up maybe, a year or two ago, is to make the tush push illegal. The Green Bay Packers basically are proposing that to prohibit an offensive player from pushing a teammate who is lined up directly behind the snapper and receives a snap immediately at the snap. The Packers say the reason they want this change is player safety, pace of play. This comes as no surprise. It was reported at the combine that the Packers were looking to outlaw the Eagles' special play, saying there's no skill involved in almost an automatic first down on plays of a yard or less. Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy wrote on the Packers website, "I would like to see the league prohibit pushing or aiding the runner quarterback on this play. There used to be a rule prohibiting this, but is no longer enforced because I believe it was thought to be too hard for the officials to see. The play is bad for the game, and we should go back to prohibiting the push of the runner. This would bring back the traditional quarterback sneak that worked pretty well for Bart Starr and the Packers back in the Ice Bowl." So knowing that that has to get approved, I want to say by 75% of the owners. I mean, A, do you think it should get banned? And B, do you think it will?
So initially, I wanted it banned. I really did. But then, after thinking about it, I said, you know what? The next thing they'll want to do is when you see the running back his legs are still pumping and he's trying to get more yards, and then you see that lineman at guard, tackle, center, etc., or tight end push him in the back and he gets more yards. Are they going to outlaw that too? Because if you do it to one, you got to do it to the other because you said it's safety. You're claiming it's safety. So it's to me just it's the same amount of safety issues pushing that running back or that receiver trying to get that last yard as well. It's all about safety. If you want to put it under that umbrella, then you can't do that either. Then the play's dead where the motion stopped. So, like I said, initially I was against it, but now I'm like, you know what? Figure out a way to stop it. Figure it out because it has been stopped. Whether you want to call it luck or whether you would just want to call it because of so many times you got it right this particular time. So 18 out of 18 or 16 out of 18 or however you want to look at it, you stopped it. Well, figure it out. You're just not going to give up. Figure it out.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
So I just put this in a chat GPT, right, to see what the tush push success rate has been. So this is saying that in, let's see here, 2022, it was successful 86% of the time. So on 61 out of 71 attempts, right? In 2023, the Eagles' success rate was 88.1% of the time, right? And let's see here. The Detroit Lions had a perfect record of it, going 7 for 7. The Cowboys were 23 of 25, going 92% of it. So it seems like it's a, unstoppable play. And then I think about Frankie Louvu in that playoff game, just jumping over the pile, trying to time the snap and this and that, right? To me, I don't think they're going to go as far as stopping a running back from getting pushed because the letter of the rule is immediately after the snap, right? I don't think that would ever get approved that you can't push someone in. If it's a running back and they're on the goal line, they're kind of stopped up, and let's just say it was a screen or something like that. But I do think it's a cheap gimmick, easy play. It reminds me of Tecmo Bowl, and we would always do paper, rock, scissors. And for those that don't know what Tecmo Bowl is, look it up. But like if whoever got the Raiders and you got Bo Jackson, he was basically unstoppable if you called this one play, right? And it just wasn't fair. And I feel that this play is kind of that. But then again, shame on you for letting it get to 3rd and 1. Shame on you for letting it get to 4th and 1, right? If you don't want that play to happen and be that successful, stop them on 1st down, stop them on 2nd down. Don't let them get that many yards, which is easier said than done. The Eagles won the freaking Super Bowl. But I don't like the fact that we're trying to change rules in the game because we can't stop them from doing it, right? Because there's nothing stopping you from doing it, but maybe your offense isn't as good to get the 3rd and 1, to get the 4th and 1. So it didn't really matter. So I'm fine with leaving it. And I'm actually surprised I think that way because I hate the freaking Eagles and everything they stand for. And this push play is because of them. But I'm fine with keeping it. And do I think it's going to get overturned? 75%, 24 owners have to agree. I can actually see them stopping it. I can see them taking it out of the game.
I say you develop your own tush push. Figure out your own way of doing it and make it work to your advantage. And then once everyone, it's no different than when people were saying the read option. Oh, the read option is you shouldn't have it because of blah, 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 all the excuses that they made up for. But guess what? They figured out a way to stop it. And teams they still use it, but not as much as they used to. And I agree with you. Figure out a way to get them out of that 3rd and 1 or the 3rd and short, the 4th and short. Figure out a way to stop it. And you said it's not as easy as it sounds, but yet and still, it can be done. Don't use it to your disadvantage. Use it to your advantage.
Yeah. No, I think we're on the same page there. The second one is a rule proposed by the Lions. They want to eliminate an automatic 1st down as a penalty imposed for defensive holding or legal contact. So if it's 3rd and 20 and we're on defense and Benjamin St-Juste gets a defensive holding within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, it doesn't go to 3rd and 15. It's an automatic 1st down. And the Lions are saying eliminate the automatic 1st down. Do you think it should change? And will it change?
I don't believe that's going to change because they want offense to move the ball. People always say offense sells tickets. Putting points up on the board sells tickets. And now with all these different not Fandango, but Fandango's the movie.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. All the different betting sites.
Yeah, that's the movie app, Fandango. But yeah, FanDuel, all these different betting tool apps. They want to see points on the board. They want to see 1st downs. They want to see. They even have penalties. No matter whatever you want to put in that calculator, they can figure out a way to make money off of it. So hey, once again, figure out a way to stop it. Now, could it be a situation where to stop it? Hey, point and foul, and the ball is placed right there. I don't know. Figure it out. You know which refs will allow certain things and which refs will not. And that's the way the league has always been. Oh, man, what do we always hear? Hockey leagues groups coming in, and they don't call X, Y, Z. So you got to figure out a way that you may have played handsy last week, but this week you can't play handsy because these guys are going to be looking out for it. Figure out a way to get your team ready to play to make it fair for everybody.
I hear you. I mean, from my perspective, I think making an automatic 1st down, that sucks, right? If it's 3rd and 20 and we get a hold that happened within 10 yards, so then, it happened 10 yards down the field, I think it should be a replay of down at the spot of the foul, right? If my guy's caught holding, now St-Juste is gone, thank goodness, don't got to worry about it as much with him, but, let's just say Sandra Still is caught for holding against A.J. Brown, and it's 3rd and 20, and he holds him 10 yards down the field, then make it 3rd and 10. Don't just give him an automatic 1st down because the DBs are at such a disadvantage nowadays. That is just a rule that benefits the offense way too much. The automatic 1st down is just such BS, right? And I know the junkies were talking about this week or maybe last week, saying it's going to slow the game down, blah, 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 this and that. To me, just awarding the offense free first downs it's crap, right? Okay, if they committed a penalty, if it was illegal contact, and if it was defensive holding, make it like it's pass interference, except just have a replay of down at the spot of the foul. Don't give them the automatic first down. That to me is
Not a foul, yeah.
yeah, right there. I don't know if the competition committee can come back and say, we like what Detroit is proposing, but we're going to change it with this caveat instead of eliminating it completely, just making it at the spot of the foul. So we'll see how that goes. The Eagles are asking to amend a rule to make it so the postseason overtime rules are the same as so the regular season overtime rules are the same as the postseason rules, which I think it is kind of ridiculous that the postseason rules and the regular season rules are completely different. I mean, in hockey, postseason hockey rules and overtime are different than regular season. And I get that they play 82 games, right? Football, we play 17 in a regular season. So why have the overtime rules be different? I think they should align and be the same and make it so each team gets a possession.
Well, didn't they change that at one point in time? Before it was, if I can remember correctly, before it was you won the toss, kick the field goal, you won the game. Well, they changed that.
Yeah.
Where now you have to get a touchdown, and then the game is over if you get a touchdown. Or does the other team get an opportunity to score as well?
So in postseason, the other team gets an opportunity. In regular season, they don't. So it says here to align the postseason and regular season overtime rules by granting both teams an opportunity to possess the ball regardless of the outcome of the first possession, subject to a 15-minute overtime period in the regular season. And if I'm not mistaken, the regular season overtime period is only 10 minutes for the NFL.
Okay. What am I missing? I'm trying to understand. So it's 15 minutes. If you score, is the game over? No. You get an opportunity to go back down and score as well. But if you don't, then yes, the game's over. I don't see anything wrong with that.
So it's sudden when the game ends on a score, safety, field goal, or touchdown, continue till a winner is determined. So this is saying here that the regular season overtime rules that if the team gets a ball first, scores a touchdown on the opening possession, then that's it. The other team never gets the ball again. Right? So let's just say we're playing the Cowboys and the Cowboys win the toss and they get a touchdown, then that's game over. But in postseason, if they get a touchdown, then we get the ball, we get a chance to score a touchdown. So that's what the Eagles are proposing for both teams to get a possession if the other team scores a touchdown first.
So whatever happened to all right. Okay, so let's play this out. The opposing team scores. Let's just say that since we're talking about the Eagles score.
I said Cowboys second time, but yeah, I hear you.
The Commanders score. What does it go back and forth until the end of the clock strikes 15 minutes?
So in the postseason, if they score in the regular season, if they score a touchdown, then it's over. If they score a field goal, the second team, the Commanders, will get a chance to either score a field goal or score a touchdown.
Right.
If they get the touchdown, it's done. If they make a field goal, then it just goes back, right? Until the time ends. That's how you can have a draw in the regular season. In the postseason, there are no draws, right? It just keeps going, and there's another quarter that goes on. So they're trying to have it so everything aligns. Why have different rules for the regular season versus the postseason? We don't have that for anything else in the game, so why not have it the same for overtime?
It should be the same. It should be the same.
Yeah, and I think it should be the same as well, right? I think, there shouldn't be overtime in preseason, and for the most part,
hell no.
Most coaches do what they can to go for two or do something stupid so there is no overtime in preseason because no one wants to risk someone getting hurt and no one wants to watch preseason longer than they have to. But to me, you have 17 games. Make it the same. give each team a chance. If those are the rules we're governed by in the postseason, then let them be the same in the regular season. And I'm hoping this one actually gets changed. And I'm not going to say kudos to the Eagles for proposing something. You know, screw them. They can all still kiss my ass. But
Yeah.
maybe, this is one of the guys from the Eagles proposed it after he moved from, Boston or something. He's not really an Eagles fan. So
Don't want to ever
now
want to give a one up.
this one, this one really bothers me, right? And I think the fan base is kind of torn on this, right? The Detroit Lions, surprisingly enough, are petitioning for the playoff rules to change in regards to seeding. So the Vikings finished as the 5 seed, even though they went 14-3. The Lions were the 1 seed, and that Week 17 game actually was going to determine who got the 1 seed or who got the 5th seed, right? So with them being the 5th seed at a 14-3 record, it was crazy. So they want to amend the current playoff seeding format to allow wildcard teams to be seeded higher than division champions if the wildcard team has a better regular season record. And Detroit's reasoning is competitive equity provides excitement and competition in late season games, rewards the best performing teams from the regular season, the Lions said. Says you may remember that the Lions defeated the Vikings in a critical regular season finale that decided who got the number 1 seed. So if this happened, right, we had a better record than the Bucks. We could have hosted a home playoff game. So do you think that this should change? And do you think that this will change?
I think it should change. Uh, I also feel, depending on what owner feels it would benefit them, it may not change. You know what I mean? I feel that yeah, the best record should go up there, but the owners, man, there's always some type of algorithm that tells them something different, and so that it would affect their bottom line, some shape, form, or fashion. So will it change? I don't know, but personally, I think it should.
So looking at this right now, the Lions won their division at 15-2. The Eagles won theirs at 14-3. The Bucks won theirs at 10-7. Right. And then let's see here. The Rams won theirs at 10-7. Right. So the Vikings at 14-3 had to go on the road. Us at 12-5 had to go on the road. And the Packers at 11-6 had to go on the road. So we played Tampa. We should have got a home playoff game potentially at that point. Now, I hate this. I don't like this at all. To me, they made the last 2 games of the season division games for a reason. They want the division to mean something. And to me, if you change this, you're going to completely make the division not matter. Who cares if you win your division anymore? Those division games have always historically counted for a game and a half, not just a regular game. To me, you change it up now because you think you got screwed because there's another team in your division that did well. I think it should stay the exact same way it is, and you should get rewarded for winning your division. Is it your fault that your division sucked? I mean, remember we won the division at 8-8, right? Was it? Yeah, I think it was 2020 where we were 8-8, or do we get a tie inside there? But you know, it's sucks for the rest of the league that they had tougher divisions and we had an easier cupcake one at that point. But to me, you get rewarded for winning it. And that's just how it's always been. I know the NBA doesn't do it this way. They change it up where it's based upon those rankings. If anything, maybe make it so you reseed at that point where you're not just playing, in your bracket per se when it comes down to the playoffs where you might actually get a chance to play someone else. Because I think that's what the hockey does in their playoffs. They actually reseed, but I don't know, man. I like it the way it is. Maybe it's just me being traditional, but I like the fact that winning your division is extra motivation. And I feel that motivation will be gone. And those division rivalries would eventually just dissipate and go away.
No, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't go away because you still have the disdain for the guys in your division. Um, I'll have to think about that a little bit more.
I gotcha. Well, you let me know when you're thinking about that this weekend on the court and what you end up coming down to. I do hope that they make some changes, and I hope they don't go super crazy with others. But it is nice to see them still trying to improve the game and change the game up because nothing's perfect, right? There's definitely some things that could get worked out. And some of these are thinking outside the box, and some of these are just being salty that you can't stop these teams from kicking your ass with certain plays. So, and I'm also glad that it wasn't the Commanders that brought up the tush push rule and that it was the Packers because it just would be embarrassing. You would see like the Frankie Louvu rule at that point getting proposed instead of, the Packers putting it in.
And that's what I'm saying, man. The minute that you try to start changing stuff up like that, they're going to say you can't jump over the top, or they're going to say you can't do something, and it could be a play that may have been critical to benefit you. Because I'm telling you, the minute that you say that you can't do that tush push, best believe they're going to figure out something else that you can't do that they've been doing for the longest amount of time. And so I say, let it go, figure out a way to stop it, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So fingers crossed, next time we talk, we'll get some of those rule changes squared away, and then we got some more to talk about, and we get another rally pickleball update.
No problem, brother. No problem. I can't wait. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna say you're gonna get that phone call, and I'm say, Ted, you ready? I don't want to hear any excuses.
I got you, man. Anytime. We can record live from the courts, man. We'll be good. You might hear some annoying like bounces in the background. We'll be good.
That's hilarious. Yeah, man. I need to get better first. Like I said, this is at my own pace. I would slow you down, brother.
Nah,
you'd be like, God dang, Captain, come on, man, come on, rally. You that terrible?
Nah, man. Sure, you got that tennis stroke. You've been playing tennis for a little bit, even though it's been a while. You'll pick it up, man. I'm jealous of everyone I know that played tennis because I never did. I played football and I played rugby. So if I actually would have played tennis, I'd be a hell of a lot farther than I am now. So you'll pick it up, man. I got no doubt.
Let me ask you this: what's your golf game like?
Horrible, man. I go to Top Golf and do the Angry Birds thing, and I get a bucket of beer. Right? I am bad at golf. I ain't gonna try.
Yeah, that's something that I wish that I would have gotten into because I one year it was the Hall Farmers, and it was Tampa. We went to Tampa and we played them years ago. When did we play Tampa? Was it 2020? I don't remember, but nevertheless, it was years ago, maybe 2017. I don't remember when it was, but man, I just could not hit a ball off the tee at Top Golf. That was my first time ever swinging a golf club. So, needless to say that was terrible.
So
terrible.
I'm on the Commanders season package network where you get to go play golf with a bunch of the alumni. Is the package I have. And I've asked them repeatedly, can I please trade that in? Because the last thing I want to do is be in a golf cart with Joe Theismann and another alum and embarrass the hell out of myself playing golf. So I basically just give it to my friends that play golf and let them go and say, please don't embarrass me. My name is going to be on the cart. So don't get drunk. Don't crash this golf cart. But it's something that I'm with you right there. I don't want to be in front of all of those guys that we grew up watching just making fools of ourselves.
Yeah, can't do it. But that's something that I still do want to. I want to swing some clubs and learn that game because they see a lot of business deals get made on the golf course. So
hell yeah, sounds good to me. Maybe we'll hit Top Golf up after hitting some pickleball courts.
My body can take it. Hey, I hear the music playing in the background, which lets me know that we are bringing another episode of the DMV Mess Hall to a close. And we thank you guys for riding with us. It means a lot. Even though this is a slow period in NFL season, we look forward to talking to you guys later on in a couple of months. And I'm still kicked off at the NFL for not announcing who's going to Brazil, who's playing in Spain, and all that good stuff, the opponents. I mean, you guys know already. Come on, give it up. People need to pay their bills and doggone make their put their money together to go on these trips. So shame on you guys. But anyway, I digress. Appreciate you guys rolling with us, and we'll see you next week with the pickleball update from the captain and the tailgate Ted himself. Remember, rep it hard. You don't rep it at all. Rally Captain, tailgate Ted. Till next time, route.